We used to walk from Eastlands all the way to Kenya National Theatre every single day to go and do rehearsals.
Walk from Eastlands
from Umoja all the way. We would walk from through Buru, we go Jeri, Marish, Shauri Moyo, and then we get into town.
What's up, guys? Welcome to the podcast, and today we have an amazing actor. His name is Maqbul Mohammed, but sidhani hata ananidi introduction. He's an actor and a radio personality, plus MC. Yani the list is endless.
I dug deep into this entertainment industry, and for the past 23 years, I think I've done everything.
Totally, by the way.
I'm getting into this as well.
Karibu.
Yeah.
Karibu. Being in the media space, I know how things are hard there.
Yeah.
And the only way is just to create your own thing and venture on.
Yeah, like you. I've known her for quite a while, and this is amazing to see.
Thank you. Yeah. Thank you.
Tumetoka mbali.
Kabisa. Now, Detective Malakwen mwenyewe.
Yes.
Last time we saw you as a detective was on Crime and Justice.
Yes.
And then here at Cash Money again, you're taking a detective role.
Yes.
Why was this the right project for you to come back?
First of all, I'd like to thank the guys for actually considering me for this thing. I really, and you know, you can attest to it, I don't do many projects. I just do projects that actually call on to me, reflect on what I am as a person and as a brand and the messaging in it. This particular show, from the onset, as soon as I got the script and we're talking about it, it just reached out in terms of what we're talking about, the values, the ethics, and everything surrounding this particular story. Yeah. And like they say in film, there's no small role. There are only small actors. So it spoke to me. I was like, he has depth and understanding of where he is coming from and what he wants to do, and getting mixed in all this ups and downs of the family and what's happening. So it just spoke to me from the onset, and I loved it.
Nice. Now, the cast of Cash Money, it has veterans, it has new talented guys.
Yes.
If you were to swap with another person with another character on the show, which one will it be, and how different will you act that character?
Lenana.
Okay.
I want to be Lenana in my next life. Actually, the character, I wouldn't change anything really. It's just the character had so much depth in terms of, and I can give it away now that the show is on air.
Yeah.
The plot twist that he delivers at the end, knowing that he's part of everything that is happening, and how he needed to play it cool up until that point where he's revealing. I just found it so deep. Yeah. Like there's so many layers to his character. There's so many layers to him as a human being, the things that he's gone through, and still have the courage to play, so to speak, on Amara's character. Yeah. I was like, that character is just amazingly deep. Yeah. And it helped that he had so many romantic scenes.
And do you know, when you start to watch Cash Money, you overlook his character.
Totally. And that's
like
the beauty of it.
This weak guy.
Exactly.
And then he's the mastermind. Pole for spoiler alert.
the fact that he had to play it subtle from episode one. And of course, in terms of filming, you don't film in linear, like all the scenes back to back. You film in different bits and pieces. So sometimes you would have to play this side and then in the beginning as well. Yeah. And having to just compose yourself in playing those roles. Man, Lenana had so much fun with that character. I would love to have been that one. Yeah.
What do you hope the viewers will take home from your character? Okay. And then also compare it with the situation locally in the country, how the police are dealing with crime scenes, and what do you want what do you want the local detective
Yeah.
to change?
Okay. So one of the things that attracted me to the character is it's a police officer, and we really have them and us kind of situation in this country when it comes to the police, and that already attracted to me in terms of portraying the police officers. They are human. We forget they are human. They go through these things every single day, and they see things. Police officers see things that if us regular guys see, we wouldn't be sleeping every day.
No.
Yeah.
I think it's deep trauma.
It's deep trauma, and you have to deal with this every single day. And then it's not like you come to one crime scene and then see it and then go and start solving it. There are so many other facets of life that people have, and you still have to show up and be that person. And then you have a public that is always condemning the cops this, the cops this. They're human beings. So one of the things that I wanted to do is just portray a human side to the police officer when he's in the office and he's trying to piece it together. When the woman walks in and points out and say, "This is the person who killed my husband," and you can see the character is tearing and she's overwhelmed, and he reflects concern. So I wanted to show that the police officers, yes, they have values, they have ethics, they have things that they need to do, but they're, at the end of the day, they're human beings as well.
Yeah.
And it takes a lot to wake up every single day and be that person. And they have processes as well that they do. It's not just, they wake up and it's like, there's a bad portrayal of the police officers. So
Yeah. Like
to
they
the
just
cops.
wake up, chill in the police station,
Yeah,
eat,
yeah,
ask
yeah.
for a bribe,
Exactly,
then go
exactly.
home.
We need to change the narrative. They're part of the society every single day. They live and breathe like all of us. They have kids, they have families, they go to the same shops we go to, right? So I wanted to portray that. Yeah.
Now you act alongside women who are strong in character and powerful.
Yeah.
So we have Amara, who plays John Sibi Okumu's daughter.
Yes.
Sana, a force.
Yeah.
And even your co-detective,
Yes.
is also a lady.
Lord, yeah.
How was it working alongside these strong women?
So the good thing is I've worked at Link with Sana in different projects. Flo was the first time. Amara, a first timer, absolutely breathtaking. Yeah. And working with women who are empowered and, they are out there as their brands away from the project.
Yeah.
It pushes you. It really pushes you when you're on set and you see them delivering like Sana every time she steps in, and you see the other Sana, we joke, we laugh, and then when it's action, she turns into this person. It just evokes that thing of, I want to do better. I want to push myself as well. Yeah. And being with them on set was just so much fun. I've been on a couple of sets, but this set was fantastic, amazing. Even behind the scenes, working with Grace as well, Philip and Grace, and it's a different take from both of them. Philip, in terms of cinematography, in terms of direction, is totally different from Grace, who taps into a different part of the character as well. So having both of them, it was just amazing. It was just amazing. I had so much fun and learned so much. And that's what I keep on telling actors. There's no end to learning. If I can borrow the vision and the words of Denzel, who says, up until now, you have to go to a workshop as an actor and develop yourself. Otherwise, you'll remain stagnant. And that's what I got from this set. It was amazing working with these guys. Amazing. I had so much fun.
Now, in the past interview, you talked about actors investing on themselves. But how do you find the balance in terms of investing in that you have an impact and not investing too much that you lose yourself to the character?
Wow. Okay, that's good. It's a double-sided coin. One, you invest a lot into the character because you have to be authentic. You have to be honest to who you are and the feelings that the character is going through at that particular moment. You have to get lost in the character, but also leave a bit of who you are. So how I usually put it is, whatever the character is going through, there's a certain, emotion or facet of my life that I've gone through as well. So I try and attach it. So I don't get lost completely. I would be in a scene where I'm upset, and I'll tap into a different feeling that I've gone through and try and channel that energy. The woman walking in, husband is dying, I'd grown an older woman. And in our society, it's not a good thing to see a woman crying like that, right? And being in a state of devastation. The feeling towards that, you borrow from what you've seen. And I try as much as I can to balance the both of them, but at the same time, be honest enough to be the character and not Maqbul, but at the same time, have elements of Maqbul and what I've gone through into the character, so you don't lose yourself. And there's always the 2 months or 3 months after that where, after the project, you have to take time and detach, completely detach.
So how long do you take to de-roll?
2 or 3 months.
2 to 3 months.
2 to 3 months.
So you can't pick any role that, let's assume you've been casted back to back. Cash Money has finished filming, and another one is starting within a month.
Yeah.
Will you still take that break?
I would. But because of economy and how we are set up as an industry, I know people want to jump into the next project because of financial issues and all these things. But you have to remain honest to the character. That's the most important thing. So if I jump from one set to another, as I usually see people, you'll play elements of this part and this part.
Yeah.
You wouldn't be as honest.
Yeah.
You wouldn't be giving your 100%. Work on a project, finish, take some time, jump on, right? And that's what I'd like to advise a lot of young actors. Otherwise, you're jumping into this character, you're giving the same energy. You jump into this one, you're still, lagging from this other one, and it's mix and match.
It's like your ghost is going around.
Exactly. You're playing the same person. And most often than not, when you're tired, you read the lines and you play yourself.
Oh yeah, you don't put much
you don't think about it. Like, I love the way in every character that I have a certain twitch. Because as human beings, we have twitches. Right now, you're twitching.
Yes.
Right? Yeah, you have that. They
I
usually
have
do. Exactly. In all interviews, you do that, right?
Yeah.
In human element, we have those twitches every single time. And someone picked it up and said, when the detective is thinking, did you see what he was doing? He was always playing around with his ring. Yeah.
This is his natural way.
It's a natural tweak. It's a natural tweak, right? We have those. So if I'm doing that in one scene and then in the next scene, or rather in the next project, I'm doing something else 2 hours later, I'll find myself doing that as well. So it's good to just try and separate.
Do you have a role that made you really cry? Like you sobbed until it became true?
Yeah. I think one of the big projects that I've done, Makutano Junction, which is quite known. Makutano challenged me as a young man because it was fame and fun until it got to the acting bit of it. That character went through so much. At some point, he went through depression. He became suicidal. And then the opening of season 4 or 5, if I can remember, it opens with the passing of his mother. And it opens at the graveside where they're burying her. Now, it came at a very interesting point of my life where I just lost my brother.
Pole.
Yeah, it's all his life. And I think a month or 2 is when we started filming. And that was the opening scene. Yo. I don't think I've ever been more authentic in a role than that. Because it was like action, and I started crying, and I just couldn't stop. And the director just told everyone, just silence, and I just kept on going. They kept on rolling. And I bawled myself out. And the whole season, you could see him losing it. And those moments, I think that season 5 or season 4, I've done a lot of acting, but that's the most honest acting I've ever done. Yeah, I was crying throughout. But it was good because I was letting it out. Yeah.
The director didn't pull you to the side after and say, I don't think that was the character crying.
No. It was authentic. It was really authentic because, like I said, I have elements of who I am, and then I mix it with the character. And loss and grief is, we all go through it differently, but we have more or less the same emotion, right? And at that point, standing at the grave, as the character was looking at the mother, was the same feeling I had when I was burying my brother, standing at the grave and having to let go. Because I remember once he was buried and people were leaving, I kept on asking people, why are we leaving my brother behind, right? That detachment was very, very difficult. The character felt the same way, right? The only protector that he had in the entire society and made him, who he was the mother. And now that mother is gone, right? So it was very interesting. It was deep. Yeah.
Now, looking at the acting industry now, what would be your dream Kenyan acting industry?
A space where, first of all, we have a space where young people can get in and get into theater first, which is really important. I always advocate, as an actor, start with theater, where you learn the basics. TV is fantastic. TV is start, stop, camera, have this emotion, camera. Having an audience, a live audience in front of you is the most authentic experience you can have as an actor. Do that. Have a space. Yeah, we have theater groups at the Kenya National Theatre and whatnot. We were blessed enough to have the Phoenix Theatres, and starting out, have those spaces where people are paid properly to channel in new talent and new crop of actors. Another thing is we have so many groups. I call them WhatsApp groups because at the end of the day, we don't have a sense of a guild yet. Have a guild where people are protected, people are taken care of, people need, if it's medical, it's catered for and it's stipulated in law. If it's, remuneration, there are certain standards, not just, a new actor comes in, gets this, an older actor comes in, gets this. You have to have those checks and balances and a nice framework where people have to follow and it's stipulated. I would love to see that in my time. Yeah.
You have openly talked about mental health on social media and even battling depression at some point in your life. How are you now balancing in terms of work, family, and now yourself?
It's a learning curve every single day. It's a learning curve. Acting or the entertainment industry is not consistent. And a lot of people are still trying to figure it out, and people go through a lot of tough times because you have a project, cash money, amazing, you have fun, you get paid, and then you have downtime. For a very long time, right? So whatever you're compensated is what you're going to pay your debts and then wait for the next project. It's not easy at all. You have kids who need to go to school, you have a partner, regardless of they're working or not, that you need to come together and build yourselves. So I think with time, it's understanding how it works and then having a partner who understands you as well and understands what you're doing, so you kind of help each other. And I think that's the checks and balances that I put on myself to make sure that I don't revisit, because there was what I was going through was very difficult, and it wasn't. A lot of people are like, "Oh, you are in a good place." Yes, but mentally it was difficult. I would start my day at 3 o'clock in the morning. I'm on radio. I finish. I go and film the whole day. I'm filming Vashita. In the evening, I'm hosting events. I get home at midnight, and that's day in, day out, day in, day out, day in, day out.
Even weekends.
Weekends are worse off because maybe I'm going out of town to work. I have a domestic front that I need to take care of that seems to be not working as properly. I'm not giving 100% at work because I'm constantly fatigued and tired. You have to balance it out at some point.
All these things just catched up.
It's a good thing when your brand is doing well, but you need to take care of yourself. You really need to take care of yourself. Money is fantastic, but health is much, much better.
Way, way more important.
Much, much better.
Because just like this, you've drained your account. Like it's now useless.
Exactly.
You no longer have it.
Accumulated, and then all of a sudden you're sick. Oh, we need 8 million bob. gone. Everything is gone.
Yeah.
So take care of yourself, pace yourself, find the projects that suit you so that you can grow. Not everything that you work on is suited for you. Not everything. You can get a lot of money for a project, but it doesn't suit you, it doesn't make you grow at all.
Yeah.
Have that in mind. Yeah.
You know, nowadays we see men online, the likes of yourself,
Yeah.
being open about mental illness. But a while back, and even now, some other men are still like, "Mbono nongea online," like kangu. Yet there are people who are really struggling.
Yeah.
What would you want to tell guys who are going through it?
Talking is not weakness. Opening up is not weakness. We all go through things.
Yeah.
Family is good. You can talk to your family. But remember, they are biased. They'll always be biased towards you. They won't tell you the truth. Right? I'll want to protect you. That's my first instinct. Talk. That's the first space where you can actually let go. It's like holding on to, I always feel people holding on to hot coal, charcoal. It's hot. But once you open up and let it go, that's the first beat of healing, because if you let go, and then you can start working on the scars. But you have to let go and open up. If you don't, you'll keep on burning. That's not good for you, and especially the people around you. Especially the people around you. Depression doesn't affect you as well. Only, rather. It affects the people around you mostly. Mostly. And I think if you have spaces where people can open up as men, I think it's the most amazing thing, talking about what you've been through, talking about healing. And one of the people actually at the moment I admire and is doing that is Farid Kimani.
Oh, yes, yes.
Farid has come out in a big way, and I applaud him every single day. How he's opened up about what he's gone through. He's opening up about his healing process and talking to other men about, you can be in a certain position, but if you open up, it's not weakness. It shows your strength and character, and other people emulate. Remember, this society is not the society where we grew up of young people sitting with older people and talking about it. It's social media. So if I can get this message on socials and people can see that, it's much better. They learn from it.
Do you even have older people to sit around with?
Our little barazas that we grew up with. No longer, they're not there anymore.
Yeah.
They're not there anymore.
Now, you and your sister, Shadia Delgush, she was in Papa Shirandula.
Yeah.
Both in the industry.
Yeah.
Will we ever see a merger of you guys teaming up in same production?
I would love that. I would love that. We haven't worked on we've never actually worked on a project together. But I think it's just a matter of finding something that works for all of us. I did, in Reflections, if you remember back in the day, I worked with my mom. I worked with my mom, and it was interesting because
mom was playing which role for those guys
who don't know.
Who don't know?
So the show was a family show. I was a young guy.
I actually hated you in Reflections. I was like, this
exactly.
Guy,
I never got anything right. I was just whiling out.
Yeah.
So the person who played my love interest, Tony Kamau, back then, my mom played now her mom, right? And we were always caught up in these situations where she didn't want Tony to be with me. I was the bad boy, and she constantly scolded her. And there was an instant where she was shouting at me, right? And she was so authentic. After cut, I was like, "Yeah, you're my mom." Eh? Like, what's going on?
Yeah.
But it's fantastic to have a space where I can act with my mom, who has been a model,
Yeah.
and an actress and a musician, and we get it from there. My grandma was an actress and a musician as well. My sister is a musician, and my other sister Shadia is an actress as well. So it runs in the family.
Yani, all of you are talented people.
Totally.
Is there anyone who's doing something else?
No, we're all in entertainment.
Wow.
My younger brother is actually a hip hop artist as well in the UK. So yeah, we're all in it. We're all in it.
It runs in your blood.
It runs in my blood. And actually, look out for my mom, who's going to be acting in Sugar.
In Sugar. Say her name so that guys can search on social media.
Mariam Sabah. You can check out and upcoming.
And subscribe, follow.
Exactly.
Yes, so that you get all the updates there.
Yeah, big up, mom. Big up.
Now, Sanaipe Tande was here, and she said she doesn't think she'll go back on radio because now radio looks like TV.
Yes.
She loved the art of radio before.
Yeah.
The cameras checked in.
Yeah.
You are in radio.
Yes.
Still at Capital?
At the moment, in between.
In between. Because I know you went, and then you came, and then I'm not sure if you're still there.
We're still working on it.
Yeah. What is your take on your radio now?
I love the element of the cameras.
Oh,
I love it.
Opposite of her.
Totally. I think it's more, it opens up a new world. We could sit back in radio and it's just a voice and we can be who we are in the background, right? Separate the two. So when the mic goes on, I am this character, I play this character, and then when it's off, I can be me. With the cameras, there's more a sense of honesty that translates even on air. And for people who are listening in, it's more authentic when you're seeing someone. This podcast is fantastic. We can just record our voices and then drop it off.
Yeah.
But the fact that there's a camera and people see us, it's a bit more authentic as we're engaging.
Yeah.
And they're more connected to us. And I think it's the next evolution. I love it. I think it's amazing.
I saw in an interview somewhere where you said someone told you you're not good enough on the radio and you'll never make it. What was that situation like? Yet you made it and made it big in a big way.
Wow. Hey, you've dug deep.
Let me tell you.
Yeah. Research.
The truth.
Yeah.
I went through everything.
So you've done research.
I did everything.
It's proving people wrong. When you grow up in a humble space, it's either two things. You succumb to what your situation where you are, or you rise above it.
Yeah.
I've always tried my level best to rise above whatever challenges. And when someone pushes negative energy onto me, it's my obligation and my duty every single day to try and prove them wrong. It doesn't matter who it is. That fuels me. If you tell me I can't, I'll show you.
Yeah.
For no one else but you, I will show you. And when I get there, I will pick you up and tell you that I made it.
And you'll make sure he knows.
Totally.
Or she knows.
In fact, I'll mention you by name. Just to make sure that you see I've made it. Let it fuel you. Let it not bring you down at all. Yeah, and that's always my motto. Prove people wrong. Yeah.
Working at Capital, how was Chris Kirubi like?
A mentor, a father figure, a teacher, someone who I could go and talk to about life. A lot of people judge people from what they hear or what they see other people
talking about,
right? But knowing the person one-on-one is totally different.
Yeah.
There's a perception about who I am, right? Maqbul is this, Maqbul is that, Maqbul is, whether good or bad, it doesn't really matter. But you don't know me.
Yeah. You just know
exactly.
I think it's an eighth or whatever of the whole pie of Maqbul.
Exactly. When someone is talking about that guy, me, I know that guy, I've heard is this and this. You don't. You have absolutely no idea.
Yeah.
And that's the same with CK, man. He was, for anyone who knew him, he was one of the most amazing figures. And what separated him from every other elderly gentleman in that space was he wanted to connect with young people because he knew that was the space where he gave himself energy and he learned from guys and he would teach as well. At the end of the day, he was in his legacy space and he wanted to leave something to other people, and that exactly was the space to do that. Man, I learned a lot of life through him. And not giving up. I remember when he passed on, I wrote a quote on Instagram. And I said he was the one who challenged us most not to be lax in any space. On holidays, people want to run to Naivasha and go and enjoy. And he's like, no. Sit back and try and improve yourself and do ABCD. Yes, you need to take time for yourself. But try every single day, every space to try and improve yourself. Think about the next step. Always look ahead. And I impart that knowledge to my kids every single time. I'm like, don't think of now. Yes, this is my situation, but 10 steps ahead, what do I want to do? And that comes from CK.
Wow, amazing.
Yeah.
Now, Farid was one of your mentors for radio.
Yes.
And he was at Crime and Justice.
Yes.
I saw him making, I think, an episode or so.
Yes.
Which you were in.
Yeah.
Did you mentor him in
terms
acting?
of
Like, did they switch the roles?
No. Actually, I don't think our characters met at Crime and Justice. But I don't think even Farid needed guidance, because if you remember, Farid did Changing Times.
Changes.
Yes. Pardon me.
Yeah,
but he was an actor. And I remember watching him, and in the midst of, I think I was doing reflections at that time, thinking, I want to be in that project. I want to be that guy. And he's one of the people who influenced me as well, in terms of you can do radio and you can do TV as well. And you can combine the two elements in terms of your talent. So yeah, still mentoring me. Still mentoring me until today. Yeah.
You have survived radio for decades, TV for decades. Considering this industry is a very tough industry.
Yeah.
What is your secret of surviving and actually being relevant at the same time?
Relevant.
Yeah.
Don't take it for granted. Learn. Every single day is a learning curve. Every day. And embrace change. Don't become a laggard and just stay, this is who I am, I'm a celebrity now, and this is what. Evolve every single day.
Yeah.
We move from analog to digital. Find a way to be relevant in that space. Radio is changing. We're getting into podcasts. Find relevance in that. Acting. I'm no longer a young person. My roles are more demanding and demand me to be a certain type of person. Embrace that. Always grow, and never, ever stop learning. Never stop learning.
The media space is really changing, and currently media, let's just say journalists are struggling in terms of delayed payments, low payments, or redundancy issues. What will you advise guys who want to get to this space, you who have survived in this space?
Trying to survive.
Yes.
Patience and perseverance. We didn't get, John C.B. Okumu didn't get to where he is right now if he wasn't patient. Sana is not Sana if she hadn't been patient and continue growing every single day. Yeah. I remember there was a point, Gerald Langiri, he used to write an article about actors, and he wrote, like, I'm one of the hardest working actors at that point. It's because I used to take every single project that comes my way. And not because I was like, I want to just act. It was a building block. I understood I'm not there. Who am I looking at? I'm looking at the Jimmy Gathers of this world. I want to be like them. I'm looking at the Janet Bugos. I'm like, I want to be like that. Even at that point, I think Insignia, Philip and Grace were doing things back then. I think it's changing times, if I'm not wrong. And I was like, I want to be in that space. But how do I get there if I'm not known, I'm not noticed? By doing things. Just keep doing things. I don't care about the pay. Let me just keep doing things. I remember our clique back then. We inspired each other. I used to hang out a lot with, I remember, if you can remember, Kamau Wandongo and Ezekiel Onyango. We used to walk around as triplets everywhere. And we inspired each other. We used to walk from Eastlands all the way to Kenya National Theatre every single day to go and do rehearsals. Walk
from Eastlands
to National? All the way. We would walk from through Buru, we go Jeri, Marish, Shauri Moyo, and then we get into town. And then in the evening do the same thing, the same trek. But we inspired each other to go to the next level. And right now, all those people are big names in the industry, if you know. So find a space, a clique of people who will inspire you, and never quit. Keep doing. And once you get there, don't let it go to your head. Don't let it go to your head. Keep learning, keep working, stay humble.
I think don't let it go to your head is the hard part. Because now these are the rewards.
If
you get to my head, and then I have to.
And always remember this. Yeah, and I keep on telling guys, there's always a younger Maqbul behind who's coming, who's going to take your job. There's always someone younger and hungrier than you and more talented than you who's coming behind. There's no space for complacency.
Yeah.
You have to keep pushing and be humble and appreciate where you are. If I have 1 million, thank you, 1 million followers for growing me. Next year, let's get to 2 million. Yeah.
I love your mind. Would you say you're in a space where your name can now get you to rooms in terms of acting?
Yeah.
Rather than going to every audition, they can just make that call and say, is this something you can take or not?
I appreciate the hard work that I've put in, and in some spaces where it's been difficult, but I kept on persevering, because now I'm so grateful that I could get calls from people who I've admired and I've wanted to work with for such a long time, like Philip and Grace and Insignia, and be offered a role and say, would you do this, and how it looks like, and we have a sit down. I never take that for granted. I really appreciate it. But I had to work hard to get into those rooms and spaces where people are like, Maqbul would fit this. Maqbul's voice would be like this. Yeah, we're doing a podcast. Maqbul is the right character for this. I don't take it for granted. But you have to put in the work to grow the brand. Yeah.
Let's talk family.
Yeah.
You have teenagers in your house.
Yo.
I have one who is 14.
Yeah.
But I'm enjoying it because I'm a woman and she's a girl.
Yeah.
So it's easier.
Yeah.
You have a daughter who I think is 16 now.
17 going into 30.
You'll be soon empty nesting.
Let me tell you.
Trouble.
Wow, it's the most joyous thing, seeing them grow, and I think you see that. Yeah. But it's the most daunting thing as well.
Yeah,
having to go through it every single day. I really feel guilty most of the time, and I beat myself up when my daughter is so talented. She's so amazing. Nia is one of the most amazing talents I have seen. I'm not even being biased because I'm her dad, but I always hold her back, and I realize it's my fears that I'm imparting on her of getting into the industry. But I'm like, learn. Be in school first of all, get your papers, and then you can get into this space, and then I can introduce you to A, B, C, D, and I can guide you.
Yeah.
But it's just the fear of, she's so talented and this is what she wants, and she's budding and she's growing. My sons as well, I can see it in them every single day, having the spark and that talent, and I want to nurture it, but I'm always cautious. Because you
want to let go, but you're still...
Exactly. And where we are right now with social media, people are becoming stars at the tender age of 15.
Yeah.
But we've seen child stars grow, and then it becomes a bit chaotic later on.
Yeah.
So I want to protect that space. She's an amazing musician. She sings every day, and she sends me stuff. I'm like, God, my retirement plan is coming into effect.
Very early.
Yeah. But also there's a sense of a parent where I just want to make sure that I cradle her and she doesn't miss a step. So I always urge patience with my kids. Just be patient, it'll come. Work on yourself. Get your education right. It'll come. Yeah.
Have you been able to talk about reproduction or reproductive health with both your daughter and your son who are in the teens?
Yeah.
Ama, you left it to the mom to
no
to do the talk.
well, I have to applaud the mom because they're the first pillar when it comes to those conversations, especially when it comes to my daughter. But I don't shy away from the topic, even with my boys. And we have to get away from the sense that, you're the father, you're the central figure. There are other men in society that these guys look up to, just the same way we used to look up to different people.
Yeah.
Right? And in a close-knit situation, the uncles are the first contact. The father, yes, is the first contact, but there are other people around who do that as well. So coming together as a community, and I love the way people do it these days, where you have a transition of some sort, a celebration into manhood. We're bringing that back.
Yes.
Where men will sit down and you hear different opinions. Your kids hear different opinions about what a man is, and that goes with them. And then you have a celebration and whatnot, which is fantastic. And in this day and age where you have co-parenting situations, kids learn faster than they should. But at the same time, it's a good thing, and it could be a bad thing as well. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Maqbul, for coming. I've really enjoyed talking with you.
Yeah,
should
man.
do this again.
We should, and we haven't caught up in such a long time. And like I said, from where we were, KBC, to where we are now, man, I can celebrate you.
Thank you.
I can only celebrate you.
Thank you.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you guys for watching. See you guys next week. Kwaheri.